What's going on, everyone? In this video, we're going to take a look at how to go from a quadratic function in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, and how to do some really basic steps in order to figure out how to sketch these quite quickly. Hold on one second. All right, now we're back. So in today's video, what we're going to do is go from an equation in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c and figure out how we can do some very basic steps in order to figure out how to sketch this the most efficiently. That's actually all I have to say for that. Thought something more would come. Anyways, let's get into it. So we want to sketch on paper this function right here. F of x equals negative 2x squared plus 8x plus 24. Showing the x and y intercepts very clearly, as well as the coordinates of the maximum or the minimum point. Only use your graphic calculator to verify. Okay, so we have f of x is equal to negative 2x squared plus 8x plus 24. All right, so let's go ahead and find our intercepts. So we know that our y-intercept is when x is equal to 0. So let's plug in 0 into here, and we'll go ahead and find that this is actually pretty easy to solve by hand. We'll find that the the y-intercept is 24. So 0, 24 is going to be my y-intercept. Now, how about the x-intercept? The x-intercept is when y is 0. So if f of x is 0, I'll have negative 2x squared plus 8x plus 24. And so now this is when learning how to factor is really, really important, because we know how to factor. We know that this is going to end up being negative 2. Then we're going to have x minus 6. And then we're going to have x plus 2 is equal to 0. And this is a really easy way to solve for this by hand, because I know that my x-intercepts are going to be at 6, 0, and negative 2, 0, because that is what makes this and this 0. Okay, so now that we have that, we can also find the vertex quite easily, because I know that the x-coordinate of my vertex, aka the axis of symmetry, is going to be the average of my x-intercepts. So x would be equal to, let's see here, that would be 2. Sorry. So x would equal 2. That would be where my axis of symmetry would lie. And that would also give me the possibility to find the y-coordinate of the vertex, because I would just plug in the x-coordinate of the vertex like so. And I would find that I get f of 2 is equal to 32. So again, I have my y-intercept right here. I have my x-intercepts right here, and then I have 232, which is going to be my vertex right here. So how do I go about plotting this on a graph? Well, we can kind of go from either left to right, highlighting all the significant points and pieces of information, or we can go do a step-by-step. Well, I know that 0, 24, so let's call this 10, let's call this 20, let's call this 30. So I know I have an x-intercept here at negative 2. Let's call it negative 1. So I'll have a point right there. Then also at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1 right here. And then at 232, I'm going to have a point. So I'll have 232. I'll have my vertex there. And then that should give me just a rough sketch of the general shape of this quadratic. Again, a little copy jitters there. That's why it's a little shaky. Again, I'm the first to admit that I have pretty bad handwriting. But this just kind of goes over the general shape, that I have an x-intercept at negative 2, 0. I have one over here at 6, 0. Y-intercept at 24, 0. I'm sorry, 0, 24. And I have a point there at 232 for my vertex. And let's make sure that we're do that on the calculator as well. So when I graph this on my calculator, negative 2x squared plus 8x plus 24, I see that, yes, my x-intercepts, negative 2 and 6 are there. I have 0, 24 as my y-intercept, and I have 232 as my vertex. I indeed did do this correctly. So you can see that we can go from a quadratic equation in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, and based off just, if we plug in 0 for x, we can get our y-intercept. If we plug in 0 for y, when we have trinomial factored into two binomials, as we can see here. Pretty easy to find our x-intercepts as well. Then if we take the average of those x-intercepts, as we have been doing in the past couple videos, we find the axis of symmetry, which is the x-coordinate of the vertex. We plug that into our equation to figure out the y-coordinate of the vertex, and bam, we have everything we need to sketch a graph. We have the x-intercepts, the y-intercept, as well as the vertex, and of course the axis of symmetry. So I hope that helped, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.